Namaskar, good evening, dear devotees and friends. Today, Wednesday, and we will be reading the Gospel of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna and Panchama Veda, as we always call it. The brothers, before you start, as usual, you will start with this mantra, Tavo Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kabibhiriditam Kalmashapaham Sravana Mangalam Srimadatam Bhubi Grinanti E Bhurida Janaha. In the last week, we were reading the Gospel where Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna was mentioning a man needs the letter he has received from home. It was the English at the page 694, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna by Swami Nikhilananda ji, and Bengali, published by the Udbodhan as a complete volume, page number 732. A man needs the letters he has received from home as long as he has not learned its content. Sri Ramakrishna was mentioning it about how many scriptures shall we read. There is no end reading the scripture. There are so many. So on that he was giving a wonderful example. The man received a letter from home, and there was a list of things that he has to acquire, and he lost that letter, and he was thinking where to get it and otherwise what will happen. It was an important thing. So he was searching, and when he got those letters and he read the contents, and after that, after reading it, however, he set out to get the things. That is exactly what Sri Ramakrishna is meaning, practice. Sri Ramakrishna never read the Upanishads or the Veda or other scriptures, but wonderfully his own experience and the way of his explanation that always go and tally with the Upanishad. Once Swami Vivekananda mentioned to his brother disciples, but with every word of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna I can quote from the Upanishad. As if it is so simple. A man lost a letter which was containing a list of things that he is supposed to acquire from the city and take it back to his home in the village. Then he was searching for that letter. He got the letter, he read the content, and that was sufficient. Now he threw the letter because now he set out to collect those things, collected those things, and then that was sufficient. So this is the way Sri Ramakrishna. And in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it also says the same thing. Here it says, Tameva dhira vigyaya pragyam kurbita brahmana na anudhyayat bahun shabdan vacha vigalapanam hitat iti. The Brahmana, the intelligent seeker of Brahman, tameva dhira vigyaya pragyam kurbita brahmana. The intelligent seeker of Brahman, after knowing about the self alone, should strive for realization. He should not reflect on many words, for it is exhausting to the vocal organs. And just making a fun, exhausting to the vocal organs. That means he should not go on reading, chanting, talking about all this. The one word of 1 ounce of the work is more valuable than the pounds of thoughts and words. So that is the way, as Swami Vivekananda said, that we have to understand that our life is very short. We do not know what is going to happen when. Now, we should have to go to the Guru, and then from the Guru we must take the initiation and the mantra and the whatever the instruction the Guru has said, and we continue with that. And that is a unique way. You need not to bother about other things. You are believing on the words of the Guru, and when you are choosing the Guru, selecting the Guru, you have to understand whether the person is having the knowledge of the Brahman or God, and whether he has well versed, and whether he has practiced that in his life, and whether he is truthful, because the religion and the spiritual Guru, his quality, only quality is his spirituality. Whether he is from this university and that university is not necessary. His realization, how he will understand? That he must be having a great love for each and every one, no narrowness, and completely selfless. There is no selfish attitude. These are the two things. Now we get the instruction from that Guru and plunge into that. So that is the way here also. Sri Ramakrishna also mentioning this, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Now, today only one gentleman was asking what to do. I am thoroughly confused. Shall I go out and roam here and there, go to the holy places? What to do, how to realize God? Here, in this Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, very clearly it is mentioning that one should do or practice what? Of course, you have to remember this is talking about the path of knowledge. So therefore, their teachings are a little different. First, renunciation, tyaga. Tyage naike amritattva manashuhu. Without the renunciation, one cannot realize anything. And what we have to renounce? The moment we think about renunciation with, then it is not possible for me, because I have to give up the home, I have to give up the family, I have to give up everything. No, that is not possible for me. Forget about it. Next life we'll see. No, not like that. Renunciation is nothing but giving up the ego. Not me, but thou, O God. That's all. The renunciation means lessening the ego, giving up the ego, that I, me and mine, that conception. If that goes, that is the first step. As in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad it is mentioning, it is the first step. Second, calmness. First, if I give up the ego, if someone is objecting my views or ideas, immediately I am angry. Why? Because it is my ego is acting. That man should receive my ideas, accept my ideas. Who is he to contradict me? It is not the ideology, it is the ego that is acting. Because of that ego, I am behaving like that. When there is no ego, there is no desire. The ego, if I can give up, fully if I can give up, immediately it is God realization. Because it is the ego only, the I sense, that is differentiating me from God. The moment that ego goes, I am nothing but that Supreme Lord. So that lessening ego, and how it will be possible? Calmness. Second, the calmness. What is this calmness? Because there is no desire. When I have a desire to do something, so obviously, if I am not fulfilling that or not getting that, there will be problem in my mind, how I am going to do it, etc. So this is the problem. Calmness comes when there is no desire. This responsibility has been given to me, well, I will try to do it as best as possible. But suppose it is not, so what to do? I tried my best. I know I have tried my best. And I will tell God, I tried my best. That's all. That is called calmness, self-control. That means that all other, the emotions that are there, or the passions that are there, so that can be controlled. So when there is no ego, when there is no desire, automatically the self-control. But these are the practices, not in a one time. Every day I have to practice this, the self-control. The one of our brother monk, he also joined the order, and he was a mathematician, and he was a professor in a famous university. When he became a brahmachari, then the in-charge Swamiji asked him to clean and sweep the floor of a long veranda where the monks used to stay. The monks' quarter, small rooms are there. The monks used to come out in that open place. They used to go the staircase, etc., etc. So his duty was to clean every day, the morning time and afternoon time. That because so many monks are going, so you should clean it. He told me, in the beginning I was thinking, what is it? I'm a professor. You should give me the duty in the college. Instead of asking this menial work, anyone can do. They don't need the education for that. They don't know who am I. So first 2 nights I couldn't sleep. I was to feel insulted. When the other Swamis are coming out of the room and going, looking at me that I am sweeping the floor, and I used to feel, what is it? They must be laughing. Then one day I remembered, so I was almost thinking to leave the order and go back, thinking that they don't understand the person, an educated person should not be given this type of job, this type of duty. I have come for God realization. I will serve in the colleges. So he was thinking like that, and he was almost convinced that he has to leave the order. Suddenly, one night when he was sleeping, he remembered, because he used to visit to an elderly person, elderly monk, and he remembered the story that old Swami told him. And this is actually, this way, the company of the holy people that helps. They will be telling some stories, they will be telling some anecdotes, they will be telling something, and that goes down into our mind, in the subconscious, it will be there. But at the time of this type of challenges, the problems, that helps. And he was helped by that story that the elderly Swami told him. Somewhere in India, there was a Shiva temple, and there was a monk, a very special. He will never look to the people. He was having a small little heart. He made himself with the leaps and all that. He used to stay into that. But early morning he will get up and he will go on sweeping the road that is leading to the temple, thinking all the people, they are coming to the Shiva. Majority of the people, they walk barefoot. That they should not be hurt. They are coming to my God, the devotees of my God. My Lord, He loves them. So obviously I should clean this path. Nobody asked him. He took up that responsibility on himself, and he used to do that. When he remembered this story, immediately he, oh my God, that monk, no one asked him to do, but with great love he used to do that work of devotion. And here only my senior monks are there. They are holy people, and that too is a very clean place, not an open public road or jungle road. So that's no problem for me. Immediately his mind calmed down. So desire, the desire with the ego, when that is gone, minds become calm and you can control yourself. Withdrawal of the senses. Regularly we have to practice meditation. And meditation is nothing but withdrawing the senses from the sense organs, from the sense objects. That eye the nose, the ear, like that 5 sense organs are there, that they go out constantly to enjoy the sense objects, Rupa, Rasha, Sabda, Sparsha, Gandha. So we have to withdraw that. No, I am not going to eat anything of this. So ahara stabdha, I am not going to eat anything. And by that way, only one should have the sattva suddhi, ahara suddhi, sattva suddhi. What is the ahara? I should have the holy company, listen only about the holy words or the beautiful, wonderful, inspiring songs. As we read the Gospels, we always find Sri Ramakrishna is asking the singers like Naren and others to sing, because those words, the songs are nothing but the prayer. So that inspired the mind, and mind goes into the higher realm, and that's spirituality. So that is the way somehow we have to keep the mind always on the spirituality, which is love, which is unselfishness, which is calm, which is blissful. So that is the way we have to understand. And he is telling that you should do. And again, the Rishi suggested another verse, next verse. It was verse 20, it was 21, and this is 22. It says like this: the seekers of Brahman, not the God, it talks about the Brahman, the Atman, because it's the path of knowledge. Regularly read Veda. The scripture should be read regularly. What are the scriptures? The Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra, the traditional. But if you read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, this is also the wonderful scripture, because it is the gist of all the scriptures. See, here Sri Ramakrishna mentioned one person. He was eager to find the letter where all those items were mentioned. He tried to find that, and when he found that, read the content, and then started collecting those. That's all. And that goes to Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. The reference is there that you need not to go for all the scriptures. Go and get the instruction and plunge into your action. Tameva dhira vigyaya pragyam kurvita brahmana na anudhyayat bahut shabdan bacho vigalapanam hitat iti. So that is the way we must. So regularly one must read the Veda. And for the modern times, this Veda, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, the Panchama Veda that I always call it, is containing all that knowledge. Few pages. All our senior Swamis, before going to bed, either they themselves will read, or they will ask the junior to read for them 2-3 pages. They will listen to that and they will go to sleep. So this is called Veda. They will get up in the morning, and also they will ask to read some holy scripture like this. So regularly read the scripture and sacrifices. What are the sacrifices? The yajnas. What are the yajnas? Panchama yajna, as they mention for the householders. First, you must remember the God. The moment you get up from sleep, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he used to say that whenever you get up from the sleep, the first thing you should see a picture of God or goddess. So keep the picture of gods and goddesses in your room, in your bedroom, so that the moment you get up, you see that. The moment you see that holy face of God, and immediately, that very moment, your mind becomes pure. Unknowingly, this is helping you. Just looking at the picture of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Ma Sharada, Swami Vivekananda, the moment, because they are holy, because their thoughts are holy, you are taking the name of that God. So that is. Second, it is Deva Yajna, Rishi Yajna, that you should read some scripture. maybe from the Gospel or Holy Mother's book or Swamiji's book. Then do the charity. Then you can remember, here they are not mentioning, but remember your ancestors, Pitri Yajna. At the time of bathing, you offer a little water. In your palm, you take the water and pour it and saying, I am thankful to you, all my ancestors. Then you are thinking about the human being, Nri Yajna. If you cannot help the people right away, because where you will go to find the people who need some help, rather just keep $1, a little from pennies away, and collect that fund and give it to the church or some holy place for the good work that they are doing. That is the way also you are helping, you are participating, and this is called yajna. First, getting up and remembering the God. Second, you are reading, that's a Deva Yajna, then Rishi Yajna, remembering your ancestors, Pitri Yajna, and thinking to help the poor people, illiterate people, suffering people. You are just keeping away little money every day from your own stock, and that is also Nri Yajna. And Bhuta Yajna. What are the Bhuta Yajnas? Just give little water or some of the grains, so the birds will come and take, and maybe the ants will take, and like that, Bhuta Yajna. So these 5 yajnas. And austerity. What is the austerity? If you are not getting something, don't feel sorry for that. That is called austerity. So how it is possible? Suppose somebody you want that they should pay attention to you because you have done so many things for them. Maybe they are very close to you, but they are not paying attention. Okay, no problem. So you also, well, that's okay, I have done my duty. So that is called austerity. Austerity means fasting. Austerity means walking barefoot in the summertime. Austerity means taking physical all trouble. That is austerity, of course. But at the same time, when you were expecting that these things should happen, that should happen, these, that, because you are thinking that I am doing this, obviously when they grow up or when they will understand, they will also do the same thing to me. And actually they are not doing it. Okay, no problem for me. That is also austerity. How it is possible? Give the mind to the higher thoughts. So when we think that what are the spiritual practices that we should do, the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad here, they are mentioning the 4:21 and 22. These are the 2-3 verses are there, and they are giving them mentioning who are the Munis. This is very interestingly they are mentioning over there. They are Munis because they are constantly thinking about the God and constantly taking the mind over there. So Manana Shila is a Muni. So friends, now Sri Ramakrishna mentioned a simple, that a person forgot the later, and now when he got it, he plunged for action. And what he is indicating, what is his instruction? When you have got the instruction from your Guru, a little faith that is there within your heart, the God may be there, you are not sure. So we can say, may be there. I don't feel, but when the Guru said, in the scripture it is mentioned, there must be something. On that feeble faith, just try and practice these, the instructions that they have given. That's all, that will be sufficient. And when you are practicing, slowly, as Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, our mind will become our Guru. The mind will dictate, mind will guide, and we will understand, and you will feel a joy inside always, every time. So that is the symbol. You will never feel jealousy. You will never feel hankering for anything. Whatever comes, you are satisfied. That shows the development of spirituality. Now, Sri Ramakrishna, he was talking and he was also joking. It is the birthday that the devotees were celebrating. So Sri Ramakrishna was very happy. So now he asked Narendra to sing, and Narendra started the tuning that his instrument. So the Sri Ramakrishna was making fun of that. So like this it was going on. Then when the Narendra sang, and particularly in dense darkness, O Mother, thy formless beauty sparkles. So this is the beauty. He is singing a Kali Kirtan, a song dedicated for Kali, remembering Kali, describing Kali. And how is that Kali? Though it is mentioning in dense darkness, that means the all ignorance. We do not know. O Mother, then addressing that, the all-pervading consciousness as the Mother. I can't find you. I don't know you. But I feel that you are there. Otherwise, everything, how it is possible going on. So, darkness is the indication of the ignorance. And if you go beyond the darkness, there is the Mother. And how is this Mother? Though I am calling Mother, thy formless beauty sparkles. It's the beauty, the formless beauty. So that is, therefore, the yogis meditate in a dark mountain cave. The dark mountain cave, what is that? Inside the body, within the mind, it is the cave-like. So within the mind, which is still dark, the full of ignorance, the yogis who are united with the consciousness, trying to get that unification, meditating on you, O Mother, who is not having any form. So that means you are the consciousness. The sparkles is that means the knowledge, and knowledge glitters. Knowledge is fire. Knowledge is light. This is through that song, this is mentioning. In an ecstatic mood, Sri Ramakrishna came down and sat by Narendra's side. He began to talk, still in ecstasy. The Sri Ramakrishna, the moment he heard, that is the purity. Today one person was asking me, the Sri Ramakrishna is bringing down the mind. How is it? By uttering Omkara. Because the Omkara is also a form. So when his mind goes into the formless realm, we cannot imagine that. In that formless realm, where mind remains no mind, when the consciousness, the little consciousness that we have, the Jivatma, merged with the Paramatma, we only read, intellectually, we're trying to understand, but when it truly happens, what is that experience? Unless one get that experience himself or herself, no one can teach. So Sri Ramakrishna is coming down. Why? Because he is taking the help of Omkara. Omkara is a Shabda Brahma. It's called Shabda Brahma. It's not Brahman. But somehow one can get the idea, the glimpse about the Brahman with the help of that Shabda, the sound and the form that Om. Sri Ramakrishna is bringing down the mind from the formless. He is coming to the form and then to this worldly level with the help of that. So that is why he is bringing us down. Then someone suggested that you should sing. Master, shall I sing to Nitya Gopal? Shall I sing? Fine, to Nitya Gopal. What do you say? One should listen to singing to awaken the inner spirit. Nothing matter afterwards. Again, what we were discussing, we began the discussion with that. the moment you get the hint that there is God, and God is all pervading, God is all consciousness, in any form you can call God, you can see God, you can realize God, in any name you can meditate, and one should not waste time. So through the song I have come to know this mother is a compassionate. That's thy mother. Is full of love and full of unselfishness. So that's why mother. And this mother is having no form. He is only the knowledge. So it is sparkling, is glittering, is light. And it is there in the darkness. We have to go beyond the darkness. And darkness symbolizes ignorance. And ignorance is nothing but our ego. So this way he is thinking, it doesn't matter, no, why should I have to sing? Then again, slowly he is coming down, he is mentioning about Narendra. He has kindled the fire, that is nice. Now all is silent. But silent means there is no word to express. The silence, when we are mentioning over here, the silent night, the holy night, a silent means is a quiet night. But here, the silent means there is no word to express the realization. So that is silence, that is the mentioning here, over here. He has kindled the fire, that is nice. Now all is silence. There is nice, that's nice too. I am silent. You be silent too. The thing is to dive into the elixir of bliss. You have to deep down, you have to go and get that which is hidden within our heart, that due to the ignorance we are not seeing it. Remove the ignorance with the light of knowledge, then we will find the full jar of the bliss. That is what Sri Ramakrishna, that means the God realization. He is very practical type. And that's why Sri Ramakrishna, the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, constantly, every time, again and again, in different way to different people he is mentioning, God is there, God can be realized, Atman is there, Atman can be realized. When you talk about the duality, you call God, you give the name of that highest as a God. And when you are treading the path of knowledge, you call the Brahman, both are same. But whatever you like, no problem. Only don't stop, only intellectually, just move to and realize it. The realization, iha ched abedit atasatyamasti, nachet iha abedit mahati binasti, bhuteshu bhuteshu vichitra dhiraha pretya asman lokan amrita bhavanti. Upanishad always talk about the amrita. This amrit means eternity, not the body, but the knowledge. And when you go and merge into that eternity, you are completely free, you need not to come back again. So when we have understood this birth and death, this circle is terrible. When we have understood that whatever that is here in this world, they're offering to me as a sound, as an object to see, as a smell or taste or touch, whatever, these five things, that five organs are going and enjoying, they are very, very temporary. And that is the reason again and again and again, some people, they will be trying it so many times. But because of their ignorance, they do not understand that they are not going to get the joy out of this. Some people are very fond of food. Some people are other types of joys. Some people go for drinking. They think one bottle of wine, they will give the joy. They drink the whole bottle. then no joy, again another bottle, again another bottle. Then they will just become like a wood. There no senses. They will be falling on a nasty, dirty place. But they think that is the joy. Oh, I drank my full and fell over there. Is this? That people should understand. No, nothing of this world can give you. Neither the money, not the physical comfort, not the name, not the fame, nothing. Those who have understood it, what they should do, strive to realize that there is something else beyond all these things, full of bliss, full of joy, full of peace, full of happiness. Just remove your ego, your all desires, and you get that. That is exactly what Sri Ramakrishna is telling, that you should go dive into the bliss. Then he is mentioning, shall I sing? Well, I may. Then he is mentioning, water is water, whether it is still or in waves. This is the beauty of Sri Ramakrishna. Immediately, he was telling, I don't need to sing. Why? Why should I have to sing? Because already I got that indication, and my mind is already over there. Then coming down a little, he is thinking, it's okay. Whether the water is not moving, it is water. And maybe because of some desire, that is the air, making the water moving, creating some ripples, that is also water. So this is the reason the Hindus, they believe in God in form and God without form. And we're very, very special. We are Vedantin. We believe that God is without form. All Hindus believe in that. But we take the help of the images of different gods and goddesses so that our little mind, our little understanding, our little conception about God can take something and over that can concentrate. Just for the concentration to understanding, we take the help of the images, but we know it is not the same complete God. So this is the beauty of the Hinduism. From outside, it seems, oh, what is it? Who is the real God or goddess? Hundreds and thousands of gods and goddesses are there. But we know, the Hindus, they know that God is only one, all-pervading consciousness, without any form. But that particular aspect of the supreme truth can be realized with the help of the images. So Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, shall I sing? Well, I may. Narendra was seated near the master. He was constantly worried about his financial difficulties at home. He was now 23 years old. Sri Ramakrishna looked at him intently. Narendra became Vivekananda sannyasi at the age of 24. So this time here the Narendra, because he is the elder son and his father passed away and his very close relatives, they cheated his mother and there was nothing to eat. So obviously as a son he was worried. The master is telling to Narendra smilingly, undoubtedly you are Kha. Kha, K-H-A, Kha means sky, and it indicates that you are the eternal, Brahman, all-pervading. You are Kha. The second, later, the Kha, K-H-A means the Akasha, the sky, and that is the infinite. But you have to worry about taxes. That's the trouble. Here the taxes means some money. to maintain the family. Sri Ramakrishna knew what is going to happen. Narendra was not knowing. So naturally he was worried. Sri Ramakrishna knew what will happen. His mind will take a turn, he will go, and then the mother in the form of that supreme, the Brahman, will bless, and then the Naren will become a sannyasi, and his mother and brothers and sisters will be taken care. All Sri Ramakrishna knew. Because he is God. And the God knew the past, knew the present and the future, everything is open to him. So now he is just joking with Narendra. You are Ka, but you are worrying about the taxes. By taxes, Master meant Narendra's financial difficulties. Master, Krishna Kishore used to say that he was Ka. So that is another person. He used to say, I am Ka. Ka means that, I am that Brahman. One day I visited him at his home and found him worried. He wouldn't talk to me freely. I asked him, what's the matter? Why are you brooding like this? The Krishna Kishore said, the tax collector came today. He said my pots and pans would be sold at auction. Because he took some loan, couldn't pay, obviously from the court that was the order. If I didn't pay my taxes, that is what I am worrying about. I laughed and said, how is that? You are surely Ka, the Akasha. Let the rascal take away your pots and pans. What is that to you? So when we say something but can't practice that, that is the mockery. The one should not do that. The Krishna Kishore was a householder and he used to declare that I am that Brahman. Now this has happened and he cannot truly behave like a knower of Brahman. It is only the pure-hearted sannyasis. I am used the word pure-hearted because if we are trying to be a sannyasi, still having some desire for name and fame, and then doing this and doing that for that particular purpose, the people should know me and all that, they have to wait for the purity. And purity means nothing of this world can tempt you. So that is called the purity. So this way, the pure-hearted sannyasis can only say that I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. Just reading a few Upanishads or listening lecture on that Vedanta, if one try to practice that without the basic quality and preparation, he will launch to that as the Krishna Kishore. The Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning Krishna Kishore because of this. We should learn from that. To Narendra, so I am saying that to you are Ka. Why are you so worried? Don't you know that Sri Krishna said to Arjuna, if you have one of the 8 siddhis, you may get a little power, but you will not realize me, the God. M capital. The siddhis means power so that one can control, and here it is telling, and then he says, by siddhis one may acquire powers, strength, money and such thing, but not God. Let me tell you something else. Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, let me tell you something else. And this is the topic for today. Go beyond knowledge and ignorance. Go beyond knowledge and ignorance. This is pure Vedanta. If one is having the conception of knowledge, he is also having the conception of ignorance. If you know that this is light, that means you must have the experience of darkness. Otherwise, how can you compare? The moment I say this is light and that is darkness, that means I know about darkness, duality. Then when you have realized that everything is Brahman, and there you cannot discriminate that this is the family life or this is the worldly life and that is a pure life or the sannyasin's life. You cannot do like that. After the realization of the Brahman, which is all pervading, there is no difference. That's why after observing Swami Vivekananda for a long period of time, his disciple, Sister Nivedita, Miss Margaret Noble, she wrote in the introduction to the complete works of Swami Vivekananda. So in him there was no the sacred or secular. There is no difference. The pure thing and the impure thing of the worldly things, no. Everything was made of God. So that is the realization, the go beyond the duality. Let me tell you something. Go beyond knowledge and ignorance. People say that such and such a one is a jnani, but in reality it is not so. Jnani means a man of knowledge. Who is a man of knowledge, a person of knowledge? One who has understood that the consciousness, or realized we should say, the consciousness is everywhere. And all that we see is nothing but the manifestation of the same consciousness which is named or termed as Brahman. Nothing else. Everything is nothing but the Brahman. People may say like that, but in reality it is not so. Vasishtha, now Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning about a very famous rishi, the Vasishtha. We are studying the Yoga Vasishtha, many of you know. This Vasishtha was a great jnani, but even he was stricken with grief on account of the death of his sons. That means, is my children. That conception was there. And that shows that knowledge was not there. At least for that particular period of time, he forgot that. This is the way we have to understand this. The one who is having this knowledge, for him everything is nothing but the manifestation of the same pure consciousness in different forms. And the children that we see, my son, my family, the moment we feel like that is duality. That means still ignorance is there. A me and mine conception. This is really very subtle, so it is very difficult to understand, but at least intellectually we should try to understand this, that there is something which is known as Brahman and which is all pervading consciousness, which is one without two, Advaita, that is only residing only there and nothing else. Whatever else that we see is nothing but the creation of Maya. That's the power of that particular consciousness, and that cover the truth and superimpose something untruth on that. And we are affected by that Maya. And that is why we are seeing the separation. And the spirituality is nothing but the practice of understanding this game plan of Maya and go beyond to the reality. How? With the knowledge. Who will give the knowledge? The Guru. And how the Guru can help us? By telling that we are that, Tattvamasi. And how I will practice? Then the example, I was so much afraid of a snake that was on the road that I was traveling. And when I was shouting for help. Then someone came with the torch, and with that light I found it is only a rope appearing as snake. So this world that we see that appears to us is nothing but that rope appearing as snake. So when we understand that, we go beyond this duality. But it's a practice, practice and practice. Understanding and practicing. With the light of knowledge, we should have to understand this. And it is so difficult. So Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning about the Vashishta, the great rishi, the guru of the Raghu clan. So he is also crying for the death of his sons. At this the Lakshmana said to Rama, "This is amazing, Rama. Even the Vashishta is so grief-stricken." Lakshmana, because he knew what is truth, Rama and Lakshmana, they studied, so they knew what is that. So when the Lakshmana is mentioning why Vashishta is crying, he knew that is all temporary. And Rama is telling, brother, he who has knowledge has ignorance as well. He who is aware of light is also aware of darkness. He who knows good and also knows bad. He who knows happiness also knows misery. Brother, go beyond duality. So we have to understand it. Go beyond duality. Those who are studying the Vedanta, the students of Vedanta, particularly Advaita Vedanta, very fond of listening about the Advaita Vedantic book like Panchadashi and then the Yoga Vashishta. We have to understand this, going beyond the duality. If you have the conception that this is the world, that means you have the conception also about the idea about the God, the duality. So this we have to understand. Yovam pashyati sarvatra, sarvam cha mai pashyati. That is in the Bhagavad Gita, sarvam cha mai pashyati. Everywhere it is me, the God. When we are approaching through the path of duality, that is also the same training, same teaching. You have to see me everywhere. And I am that, I am that, I am that. Those who are following the Bhagavan Krishna, but at the same time denouncing, oh, you are low caste, you are low born, you are this, you are ignorant, you are don't come, don't touch me, I am holier than thou. If that is there, that means they are not the votaries of Sri Krishna. They are not worshipping Sri Krishna. They are simply wasting time. They have not understood the Sri Krishna. Because that Lord Bhagavan Sri Krishna is mentioning, Sarvata pani padam tat, Sarvata akshi shido mukham, Sarvata srutiman loke, Sarvamavritta tishtati. I am everywhere, in different forms, in different names. They don't see any difference, it is all me. How a devoted Hindu can criticize others, can hate others? No, you cannot. So that is the reason. The Hindus are always, they are going on the forbearing. No, I am not going to hurt anyone because that may be my God into that form. I do not know. So that's why Hindus are always loving, caring, serving, very broad-minded. And they always encompass each and everything. Whoever came, you are all the same. So Hindu, just like the ocean, the different rivers are coming, sometimes bringing the dark waters, nasty waters, and sometimes very clear water. Ocean is all right, welcoming each and everyone. Come to my bosom. Come and mix with me. That should be the conception of the Hinduism, the Sanatana Dharma, the Vedic religion. Why? Because there is no difference. The God is everywhere, all pervading. The Rama is telling to his brother Lakshmana, brother, go beyond duality, beyond pleasure and pain, beyond knowledge and ignorance, to Narendra. So I am asking you to go beyond both knowledge and ignorance. Sri Ramakrishna went back to his small couch. The devotees were seated on the floor. Surendra sat by his side. The master cast an affectionate look on him and began to give him advice. Now he is giving the attention to Surendra, and we all know by now that Surendra was a government official, used to work in a big business house. That Surendra used to come, not that he used to practice meditation or anything, but he used to love Sri Ramakrishna. And he had a great faith that Sri Ramakrishna is a holy person, he is just like God, his company is sufficient for me. That faith was there. Look at it. And most of the time he used to come exhausted in his office, and with the cool breeze of the Ganga in Dakshineshwar, he will be lying on the floor and sleeping. When all the devotees are sitting and listening to the master, Sri Ramakrishna, he will be sleeping. When the others will be glancing at him, why this man is sleeping here? Sri Ramakrishna will be like your mother will say, no, he is very tired. Let him sleep, and these will be sufficient for him. The company of God, that is sufficient. Sri Ramakrishna looking at Surendra and come here every now and then. Come here every now and then. Nangta used to say that a brass pot must be polished every day, otherwise it gets stained. One should constantly live in the company of a holy man. That means regularly they should keep touch, they should keep, then slowly they can develop that, what actually, that truly the religion is. So unless you come regularly listening to the, coming means coming to the idea. Not that physically you have to come, but you regularly listen to the talks, trying to understand that, read the book, and then sometimes you are asking question and clarifying your all doubts. So by that way, slowly you are developing the faith and love for God. Then also at the same time you are practicing and practicing. By that way it will be possible. One should constantly live in the company of holy men. Renunciation of lust and gold is for the sannyasins. It is not for you. He is talking about the devotees, the householder devotees. It is not for you. Lust and gold, it is necessary for you. Then you must have something, and you should have a comfortable life. It is for the sannyasins only. Sannyasins should not go for that. There are two different types. The mentalities are different, thoughts are different. Now and then you should go into solitude and call on God with a yearning heart. Your renunciation should be mental. You are only thinking that I am going to renounce, and I am not attached to these and that. Though I am having my property, my this bank balance and all this, but I know that this is the time limit, this much is sufficient for me, and the balance I am going to give in charity. And if the relatives are there, if they need, I distribute the money among the relatives. So by that way, and sometimes one should be very cautious about that. If I am giving someone who is misutilizing the money, maybe drinking and going to the bad places And just because he is my son or daughter or maybe a close relative, out of emotion if I give that money, because of the misutilization, the wrong utilization, that charity will have no benefit. So one must be very careful about that too. But then giving away, and why? Because I don't, so mentally detached, it is also a practice. Thank you, friends. Now I think we should stop over here and we will read in our next Wednesday from the page 696, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Is there any question?
Yes, sir. So the first question is from Vishwaroop Ghosh. He's asking, is it possible to surrender myself wholefully like Girish Ghosh to Ramakrishna Dev?
Of course, but this depends on the practice. And surrender means what you are surrendering. Your ego. That is the surrender. The Girish also gave the ego. Now, I am Girish, he forgot that. And he used to think that I am the servant of the master. That's all. So if you start thinking I am the son of the master, I am the servant of the master, and whatever I should do before that, I will go, I meditate, I pray, and whatever the thought comes in my mind, I should try to do that. I am not going to take any decision because I am not the owner of this body and mind. The owner of this body and mind is Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. You can do that. Thank you.
Srima Vishwas is asking, what is duality?
A duality means God is there and I am here. This is called duality. The non-duality means I and my God are one. And duality means God is separate, I am separate. That is duality. Thank you.
The next question is from Devjani Dhar. She is asking how to concentrate on God staying in a unhealthy atmosphere from close person.
Yeah, I can understand. Devjani, this is really very difficult. So that's why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is suggesting that you should go to a secluded place, Nirjan Vas. You should go to a secluded place now and then, and there you pray to the God, pray to the Mother, and you tell this problem to them, and you will find that slowly the solution will come. And that prayer is very powerful. So you can try that also. Going to a secluded place somewhere where you can be alone and pray to the Mother.
Akshay is asking, revered sir, how to have more faith?
Akshay, this is, as you are going on listening to this type of discourses, then reading the book and listening, or best part, if you are reading the biographies of the great sages, then you can develop the more faith. And if you analyze your life, I don't know how old you are, but see a middle-aged person, if you are analyzing how I am surviving, millions are dying, but I am surviving. There must be someone who is protecting me, and I should give the service to that God who is protecting me. And this is the way the faith develops. Thank you then. Let us, friends, let us chant this mantra and we conclude. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram parameshamidhyam tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa namamaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.